gotta be bigger.
You can't.
It's bigger. Why can't? Yes, we can. Hey, y'all. Welcome to episode 3 of the It's Fine podcast vlog empire. It's a hot mess. Okay. So anyway, we changed up our format just a smidgen. You may or may not notice it, but we used to, in all podcasts in the past, all 2 of the ones we've already done, we used to sort of talk about what we were going to talk about. We're not doing that anymore. We're just gonna hit record and.
Did we talk about what we were going to talk about?
We did. We talked about. She gets all funny right before we hit start. She's like, okay. We're gonna start. We're gonna do this, and this is how we're gonna start, and then we're gonna start like this. And I usually go along with it, but anyway. So welcome. Hope you've had a good week. Let's see. Do you want to say hi?
Well, not now, because now we're just doing everything you want to do.
Let's do everything you want to do. What is that? Dumb and Dumber? No. What movie is that? Let's do all the things that you want to do. No, that's Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Gosh.
It was Jim Carrey. You were close the first time.
I was.
It's fine.
Jim's my bro.
I'm fine.
Anyway, so how's your week been?
It's been good.
Lies.
It's been one of those weeks where I was on the struggle bus.
You driving? You driving or just sitting?
I was just getting run over by it. But anyway.
I love it.
No, it was a good week.
Yeah.
But it's just been one of those weeks where you just have everything going through your head and you're just really thinking about things that you shouldn't. And so that whole thing I talked about last week, I tell you, you got to bring it back in.
Yeah.
And so, and also one of the things to recognize is that, even when you do bring it back in, it doesn't necessarily take away a lot of the feeling that you have. And so it's just surrendering that to God. So, but yeah.
Let's see.
What about your week?
My week was good. I'll just say that I've been sort of, I guess similarly, like we talked about, leaning into the hard times and renewing our mind last week and things like that. And then as soon as we're done with the podcast, I just feel horrible about it.
It's terrible.
I don't know. I don't know, just insecurity or whatever. And just my mind's going and it not in the greatest way, I guess. I just feel like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we putting ourselves out there? All this stuff, which then it snowballed because I wasn't doing what we talked about, which we are vulnerable to that because we're sitting here saying, do this thing, or, we're going to do this thing together. We're going to follow Jesus together. And that's exactly where the enemy's going to attack us. So it got to the point of, why are we doing this? Are we trying to inflate ourselves or make our name big instead of Jesus? And then, what even do I believe? Like, where's my faith? Lord, I need to see you. Like, all this overthinking stuff. So, anyway, the week was good, but it was just a whole lot of distraction. Keeping myself distracted from the real thing.
Come this way a little bit. Sit in my lap. Here we go. Let's just do this.
Anyway, good week. It's a good week. Kids are going back, or we're starting school because I homeschool our kiddos, and I don't know. It's just
there's flies in this house.
It's fine.
Freaking flying maggots everywhere.
Do I? Okay. Anyway. Okay. So what?
Okay. Yeah. So it's just been a crazy week. So one of the takeaways I had last week was, and what you were referring to earlier, just for you guys who you might not know this. Well, you don't know this because I haven't told you this yet. There are a few people that I did talk to about this, but last week I was talking about how I was learning how to transform my thinking, from thinking on bad things to stopping, thinking what I'm thinking about, and then turning it into a God thought, taking that thought captive and making it obedient to Jesus rather than allowing my thoughts to just go rampant. So I started to tell you a story about how I was in the bathroom cleaning and my thoughts went dark, and that was the moment that I had to learn to transition my thoughts. What I did, though, was I was not being honest, because I went into a story of when my child was a year and a half old and decided to take her diaper off and write all over the walls. Wait a minute. No, I did not say that actually happened to me.
We knew that it happened.
Anyway, here's the deal. That story was not relevant It might have been relevant to you if you have a toddler, but it was not relevant to me. And that is not the thought I was having when I was in that bathroom. That is not what went on. And I feel like if I shared the real story, then maybe it would be a little bit more applicable to you. Because here's the thing. There are many of you out there right now. I know 3 people off the top of my head right now that are going through a divorce, that their husbands are having affairs, that people are dealing with some very uncertain things in relationships outside of those 3 people. They're second guessing a lot of things. And had I shared the real story of what I was thinking in that bathroom, it might have been more helpful. So I'm going to share the story now. So this was during a time when I found out that my husband was having an affair. And he, not my present husband, because I am married to a very dear man, that is not going to do that to me, or bad things might happen. But my first husband, he was having an affair and had been having one for quite some time, and I knew about it. We were separated. And I will never forget, I had received some images of him with her. And I remember my friend Maggie telling me, and this was in Savannah back in like 2007, somewhere around there. And I remember her saying, don't open the images, because if you open the images, they will be burned in your brain, and it's going to be very difficult for you to transform your thoughts to Christ. And I just remember thinking, but I need to know. Do you ever do that?
Yeah. All the time.
It's the worst, because you're like, I know I should not.
Yeah.
And this is where, and it's not that it was wrong for me to open them, but this is where Scripture talks about some things are good, but they're not beneficial.
All things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial.
And this was not beneficial.
Yeah.
And I opened up the images, and I could see them together, and it was just burned in my brain.
Yeah.
And so I'm cleaning the bathroom this one day, and all I could do was just see that image, and I'm comparing myself to her. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about what I lack, how I'm not good enough, all the things about why he's choosing her over his own wife. I'm going there as into, is he going to leave me? What am I going to do with my kids? How are they going to live? I'm thinking about all of the ramifications of if he leaves, if he chooses her, just all those things. Which, first of all, there shouldn't have been a choice to begin with. If he was having an affair, I shouldn't have given him a choice. I should have just left. Because if you're married, you should never be the choice. So anyway, and there's more on that. But anyway, and I'm not saying that I do need to clarify, I'm not saying that there's no such thing as restoration, because I firmly believe in restoration. But this had been going on for 3 years. And at that point, somebody should have pulled the cord. And it should have been me, because I'm worth more than that. So anyway, back to cleaning the bathroom. And I can see these images pop up in my brain. And I'm thinking of all the things that I am not, that she is. And at that moment, Jesus was like, I have bought you with a really high price. Why are you comparing yourself to this other woman? And it had nothing to do with who she was. It had nothing to do with if she was a Christian, if she had been bought with that same price. It had nothing to do with any of those things. Because listen, no matter what she was doing, if she was a child of God, he was going to deal with that. And then that's fine. That's not up to me to judge her for that. All I know is I've got to take control of me. It's my skin and everything in it. That's the only thing I have control over. And at that moment, he called me out, and he was like, I'm going to need you to take this thought captive. Yeah. And so in that moment, I was able to say, you know what? I am a child of God, and I have been bought with a very high price. And instead of thinking of these mental images of her with him, I had to I literally did this. I literally was standing in the shower with a scrub brush and scrubbing bubbles, whatever. And I'm scrubbing, and all of a sudden it was like, shut up, Shannon. Shut up. And then I said out loud, I will take this thought captive to the obedience of Jesus Christ. And I know, pause, this is not what I was saying, I know that the enemy, here's the deal, the enemy cannot do anything to your soul. Mm-hmm. He can't. That's Jesus, that's the Holy Spirit. It has been marked by the triune God. There is nothing that the enemy can do to your soul. This is where he plays. This is the only place he has room to mess around. Mm-hmm. And that's where he was. And so as I'm holding Scrubbing Bubbles and the thing, I literally was like, Satan, you cannot talk to me anymore. Yeah. This is not a thought from God. Therefore, you are out. I am not listening to you. Your thoughts can go to the feet of Jesus so that they can be dealt with right now. And then that was it. No more am I thinking about the images that I saw. And now I'm thinking about me. I'm thinking about how I've been bought with a price. I'm thinking about how valuable I am to Jesus. And that my God is big enough to deal with whatever it was that was going through my mind. And that was between him and my husband. It was not between me and Barrett. Because here's the thing, even though I said his name, didn't I? My bad. My ex-husband.
It's all right.
Even though he was doing something wrong to me, more so he was doing it to God. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, that's why God says he will have vengeance. And we don't need to worry about it. Mm-hmm. Because he is sinning against God more than he was sinning against me. Mm-hmm. And so at that moment, I was able to just release him. I need you to hear that, guys. I was able to release him so that he could go off and do all the sinning he wanted to do, whatever it was he wanted to do, and it was no longer entangled in my heart. Mm-hmm. How many of you have someone in your life? It could be a child, it could be a spouse, it could be a parent, it could be a best friend, and you see that they are just getting trapped in the weeds. There is, and you've told them truth, you've done everything you can, but you feel like your spirit is so tight and just jammed up in their business.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yes. It consumes every part of you.
Right.
Consumes every part of you. I mean, you're eating a cucumber and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, if he would just, or if she would just, or if they would just listen to this sermon, if they would just read this book, if they would just surrender to God, if they would, you know what? If it's like that, it's not yours to have.
Well, and you're trying to be the Holy Spirit at that point. And that's what I call myself. Like, you asked, have I ever done that? Yes. Mm-hmm. Well-meaning. Motives are pure. My intention's pure. But then, there was one time, and I'm not going to take over, but there was one time I was talking with a friend of mine, and I was pushing, and I said out loud, I feel like I'm fighting for this harder than you are. And I heard myself say that. And at that moment, I was like, I am. I'm fighting for... what it was. I'm not even going to go into it. But yeah, we try to be someone else's Holy Spirit. So you're talking about when you're able to recognize your thought process, separate truth from lie, get rid of the lie, capture that thought, make it obedient to Christ, and then, live
it.
there and then release it.
Yeah, release
There's
it.
freedom there. So releasing that and then keep going. I'm sorry.
Just acknowledging that the problem with another person So one of the things, I do a lot of premarital counseling and a lot of those type things. Y'all, marriage is my jam. I just love doing premarital counseling. Love it. If I could start a business on my own, it would just be premarital counseling.
She's gonna start a business on her own.
And doing weddings. I love to do weddings. So anyway, what I always tell every single one of my couples is that there is no such thing as relationship problems. There are only sin problems. If Tasha and I are having a battle of the wills or whatever, that's not because our relationship is bad. It's because I have a Shannon problem and she has a Tasha problem. And I'm taking my sin and putting it into this relationship, and she's taking her sin and putting it into this relationship. And here's the deal. If I just deal with my junk and she deals with her junk, voila. And so that's where we have to get. But here's the thing. If I'm so busy worried about her junk, then we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to get anywhere because now I am so wrapped up in her that I can't even see where my ownership is. And so that was the thing that I had to acknowledge when I was in that stupid shower was once I walked away from that, I felt so free. I no longer was the keeper of this other human being.
Yeah.
I was just the keeper of myself. And it was like, I just lost 250 pounds.
You didn't win 250 pounds. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for being honest and vulnerable and bringing it back around, because that's
Sorry,
what it
guys.
is. That's where we are. That's what we're dealing with. And so that's really real.
I just hope it resonates with somebody, because I
Yeah.
know a couple of you out there, you're looking at, someone else and you're thinking that if they could get right, all your problems would be better.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. No amount of someone else getting right is going to fix you. It's not going to bring you peace. None of that. The only thing that can bring you peace is your relationship with Jesus,
Yeah.
and you freeing yourself and allowing Jesus just to be your God.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's real. That's real. And whether or not it's relational issues or anything, that same principle can be applied across your life. You know what I mean? No matter what you're dealing with. For example, with me, this season, this week for sure, but I just want to get healthy. I want to lose weight. I want to get healthy. I want to.
Let me
All
drink
the
this sugary
things.
coffee.
And so what I've done is I put rules and legalistic things and diets and extreme diets or killing myself in the gym trying to work out to lose weight. I always lose weight, but I always gain it. I always gain it right back. And so here lately, and then because of this, like, I gotta get it, I gotta do it. I was hating on myself, and so then it was self-defeating. And then I would swing the pendulum the other way, and then eat all the things, be lazy, not treat my body right, all this stuff. And then I would see pictures of myself, and I would totally judge and critique whatever. So where I've been this season, again, it's not just this past week, but this week is part of it, is just, again, renewing my thoughts about who I am in Christ, my identity as a person, but then also my physical. You know what I mean? If I have been created fearfully and wonderfully, if I reflect the image of God, that I am good. I'm good. And so all things are beneficial, or all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. That has been the verse this week. And it's so funny that you brought it up. It's been the verse for me pertaining to food and working out. So I can eat anything. I can eat anything. And for me and my personality, that's so freeing, but yet not everything's beneficial. So yeah, my husband's birthday is on Sunday. We had cake yesterday, and we're going to have cake again. But that's okay then, in that time. So don't be legalistic about it, but just be kinder to myself about it. And so then when food comes up, like whatever, make better choices. Like, this is all, for some of you guys, this is super like your life, but not for me. And I'm doing that, and like just thinking more kindly about myself, and any bad thoughts, oh, I'm ugly, or I feel fat, or fat rolls, or whatever my choice thing to call out and just be so mean. I'm stopping that. I'm taking that thought captive. I'm realizing where I'm at in my brain space, and just, I don't want to do that. It's not helping me. It's not helping me. It's not helping me love myself more. I can't love anybody if I don't love myself. Love others, the way that you love yourself. So, all that to say, I'm kind of rambling, but I've seen a few pictures of myself, or watching these videos, or just whatever.
You so perfect.
And it's like, I'm not gasping or turning away. How many times as a mom, really, like, we have so many pictures of our children, but none of ourselves, because we're afraid of what we see. And so I've seen pictures, and I'm like, I'm not all that ugly. You know what I mean?
You're not.
Well, I know, but you see yourself. And for 37 years, if you tell yourself you're fat and ugly and you look like this, then all of a sudden you see yourself. It's kind of shocking to not have that thought, And it's just so weird. And I'm like, God, help me love me, love me the way that you love me. And I don't think I know I'll never get there. But it's just fixing that, and, creating the new neural pathways of all this stuff, and remapping. It's just crazy. That's kind of where I'm at today. And so when I can get that under control, then, when things arise relationally or whatever, it's just like, golly, the renewing of the mind, we're back to it, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
So I want to say something.
Oh, yep. Say it.
All right. So I just heard you say the things that you think about yourself. And if you heard someone say those things about me, you would get all up in their jive.
Yeah.
You would be like, how dare you say that about Shannon?
Yeah.
she's precious. But yet you can say those things about yourself.
Yeah, but I wasn't aware that I was saying them to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew that I was saying it, and I was thinking it. And I said to myself and to others, you know, the enemy speaks to me in first person. Tasha, you're so ugly. I'm so ugly. I'm so fat. I'm so this, that, and the other. I don't hear him say, oh, she's ugly, she's fat, she's whatever. I don't seek to judge others that way. So it's harder to see it in that example. You know what I mean? Because it's first person. It's I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm too much, I'm too loud, I'm all of the things. But anyway, that's just the thing. And like, more than that. So that's refreshing. That's great. But there's a fear that bubbles up. Lord, help me stay here. Help me stay here. Because with me, it's like 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, you know, and then in 6 weeks, I'll be back here again. Or back there. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just hard to, how do we live there? Yeah. And it's not an answer that I think I could open the Bible and right there on page 12, you know, fine. It's wrestling it out. It's living it out. It's bringing it to trusted relationships, praying through it, and just really leaning into my relationship with Christ. And half the time, I'm just keeping myself too distracted and busy to even think about to bring Christ into it. You know, I mean, can I be real? Can I be real? So it is what it is, but it's just so sweet in that moment, in that sweet spot. So I know we don't live there. We have our highs and our lows, but right now, just realizing, like, you know, He's made me who He's made me, and He will use all of the everything for His glory if I give it to Him. So anyway, that's just kind of what's been.
I think every woman on this planet struggles with that stuff, and I think men struggle, but not so much with the looks aspect of it, because I've yet to meet a man who doesn't look in the mirror and just be like, I'm one good-looking fella.
They're out there.
I'm just saying. How do you do that? And then some people, I'm like, you look like a toad. Why would you look at yourself and think you're God's gift to women?
A toad.
A toad. Maybe if someone kisses them, they'll turn into a prince. But anyway, I don't know. But for men, it's more of a, do I have what it takes? Can I get through, you know, can I be the hero? Can I provide? Can I make this happen? And so for men, it's just that whole, you know, that confidence boost of that. For women, it's more of a character issue. And so I know for me, man, this last 10 years has been rough. And I know for me, I just thought of myself as just this dopey little whatever, because I was seeing myself through the eyes of someone else. Yeah. I was not seeing myself through the eyes of my Savior. And I know a couple of years ago, when I was released from that relationship, then suddenly I started to see myself differently, because I was able to channel truth. And I have not looked back. And so I remember before 2 years ago, I mean, like, if I would have worn my hair like this, I would not have worn my hair like this.
What's wrong with your hair?
Look at it. Look at this. I mean, I would have had to make sure that everything looked great, and that, you know, no one could say, well, Shannon looks slubby today. I mean, that's just because I had to make sure that the outside didn't reflect the sadness and the I don't even want to say, it was just beating myself up on the inside. Yeah. Just beating myself senseless. I mean, it was terrible. So the outside had to look good so that the inside was not revealed, the insecurities and just all that kind of stuff. And now I'm just like, whatever, I'll put my hair on the top of my head. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is the difference. 2 years ago, had I said, I'll just put my hair on the top of my head, I wouldn't have wanted to go out, and I would have been like, oh my gosh, you just look so ugly. I would have thought I looked ugly for myself. Like, I'd be holed up in this house watching a Harry Potter marathon by myself, and I'd walk past a mirror and be like, girl, have some standards. Now I've got my hair on top of my head, and I'm like, I'm going to the mall. Where are we going?
Well, you know, the thing is also, we do that. We feel ugly. We look ugly, we feel ugly, we all this stuff, and then we point to others and point out their ugliness. We basically
So
see,
hard on each other.
yes, we feel like we see in them what we are afraid to show in ourselves. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
It just sucks. And then we're a whole bunch of mean girls running around talking smack about each other.
Because we're insecure.
Well, yeah, and I'm the worst. I'm one of the worst. I'm telling you. And I try. And I'm just saying, and Lord, as a witness, if Jesus was standing right here, he'd be like, it's true. It's true. That's what she does. I'm trying. He's hovering. Anyway, I've tried recently to...
it's the flame of the Lord.
I've tried to just to stop talking smack. I'm not the greatest at it. But I know, I've realized, of course, we've learned that it's not about them, it's about me. So every time I try to point a finger and make fun of somebody, you know, it says more about me than it does about them.
Come on, that's the truth.
And that's what sucks. And then my personality, Basha, why are you so quiet? Because I'm trying not to sin. I'm trying not to be mean. Like, it just freaking sucks.
Trying not to let my insecurities show by my mouth.
Right. And I'll tell you my insecurities as long as I'm telling you and I'm coming forthright with them and not hiding it behind being a mean girl to myself or to others. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Just my
It's so hard. But it goes back to, what's your motive?
Yeah.
Why are you talking about this stuff? Well, because I'm insecure, okay?
And I want to make myself feel better. Or she really does need to change her shoes.
Her breath really did stink.
Well, I'm just being honest. You know?
We need to pray for her because she's got the halitosis.
The halitosis. Anyway.
Stop.
Anyway.
No. That's not it.
Okay. So we actually have decided that we're going to end with a question each week. And just kind of thought-provoking. You're welcome. Thought-provoking, something just to help us continue to be vulnerable. And please call us out on this. If you ever feel like we're being fake or phony or getting up on pedestals or whatever, call us out. Call us out, please. Because one of our values is to be real and genuine and just transparent, to be in this
I am genuinely fake and phony. Why would you ask them to call me out on that?
Call her out. Her number is... so what's our question? I forgot. Let me smile.
What were you grateful for this week?
Yes. So, go ahead. Ask... Oh, Shannon. Okay. Shannon, what were you grateful for this week? Shannon, tell us, what were you grateful for this week?
I feel like we're on an episode of Veggie Tales right now.
Oh,
Cordy!
yeah.
Where's Cordy? So anyway, I will tell you what I am grateful for. So I'm reading this book, or listening to this book called The Power of Moments. And one of the things they talk about is breaking the script. And this week, I have been driving really hard this past probably month or two. It's just been a crazy couple of months. You know what I was about to say. And so anyway, it has been a crazy couple of months with work and just with establishing a new family, just all the things. And this week I was able to break the script for a minute or two. And not just do the usual things. And that was very refreshing. One of the things we got to do was I got to go to Topgolf this week. Never done that before. That was breaking the script.
What level were you on at Topgolf?
Oh, I'm the best.
No. Level, like literally of the building. What level?
I didn't even know. Are there levels to the building?
So, correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's like first, second, third, like you could be on the top floor. And so when I've gone, I've only gone like twice with people that love that. But there's no wall, and you can like fall off into the abyss. And so my knees are knocking, and I'm holding onto the...
No.
Yes! And they're all like, I'm going to swing, and I'm going to hit that way over there. And I'm like, you're going to die! So I'm glad you didn't die. But anyway, go ahead. You went to Topgolf, and you never done that before.
I was on the ground floor where the bar and the restaurant are. So I would have fallen into the bar.
Shannon got wasted. No, I'm just kidding.
JK.
JK.
But anyway, this is what I'm grateful for. When I swung the golf club, it actually touched the ball.
Yay!
I was so impressed with myself.
Word.
I got like 6 points.
You're like Tiger.
I am.
What?
Next thing you know, I'm gonna be running my car into somebody's
Yeah, you will.
fire hydrant or
Tiger
something.
Lynch. What? That sounds kind of
Ooh,
cool.
that is a cool name.
Catchy. We need.
Makes me want to adopt a kid just so that I can name him Tiger Lynch.
Tiger
Has to be a boy. I can't
Get a
imagine
dog.
girl. I have 2 dogs.
Uh-huh.
They're ridiculous.
No, they're not. They're cute. There's one asleep in the crate, and the other one, I don't know.
Tasha Salinas.
Yeah.
What are you grateful for this week?
This week, let's see, all kinds of things.
Besides cake. You already said that.
Word, for real. Chocolate cake. Man, that's so good. That's not what I'm grateful for. I think those moments of mindfulness. I mean, I don't know. Like, you'll be doing a thing. Let me think of something. I don't even know. Okay, so I am a personal grocery shopper. I go out and people place orders. I get the order. I get to go to the store, shop it, and deliver it to them. And so it's just kind of, they come in and all of a sudden an hour and a half later I have a grocery order to deliver. So there's moments where I'm just kind of always on call. And so the other day, I don't even know what day this week it was, maybe Tuesday or maybe Monday, but I had no orders. I was just home with my kids. They were running around, and it was just like, usually I'm like getting stuff done. I'm in work mode, to-do mode, like clean the house, wash the dishes, whatever. And I just took a deep breath and I was just present right then and there. And the kids were still playing and it just like gave me rest. You know what I mean? And just those moments of like, okay, pause, take it all in and just enjoy this moment right now. Don't worry about the to-do list. Don't worry about anything. And for an overthinker, like, for just a moment, I was able to just let my mind rest. I don't know. And it just felt good. It just felt good. And I'd love to live there, but I just don't. I just don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's always going back and forth between being in my head and being, I don't know, present. So anyway, that's just something that's really sweet to me.
Yeah. So before we sign off, should I tell Steven that I threatened his life if he has an affair before he sees the video, or just let him catch it on the video?
Girl, let him catch it.
Done. Y'all have a great day, and just remember, it's fine.